All right, guys, welcome back for another episode. We are back from Cuba.
We're back from
We're gonna
Cuba.
go right into it. No, I'm just kidding. So, another episode, guys, 142. If you're not mistaken, Miggy. Uh, welcome back. We got someone special in the house. For those who don't know, my name is Eddie. This
You
is
meant
Jay
short
on the
bus
far
special.
left. Mickey behind the camera, and our got a special guest, which is Emily, my girlfriend. Actually, me and her were just in Cuba, which we're gonna talk about a little bit here. What the hell's going on with this? Seems like it's connected.
So by popular demand, I've heard the story, but there's a lot of people that want to know the story. as
Give
well.
me the rundown. Give me like
They
time
told me about it,
time
and I told them
zero.
I can't tell you their story. You have to tell you the story. They have to tell their own story to you.
Give me time zero. Getting on the plane.
And I have questions.
Going over there?
Yeah.
No, normal.
Normal.
It's when you get off and you're like, oh, okay.
All right, so you get to Cuba.
The first thing that we do is wait outside the airport for probably like close to 45 minutes. Just get renting the car.
Did you notice a difference in the smell of the air?
No, it's like that DR third world country smell.
Third
Same
world
thing.
country.
It's just hot.
Third world country is right.
Well,
I don't
another
know
thing.
about DR.
Wait, let's
What
go
do you mean
back.
smell?
Miguel
That's
said
what-
getting off the plane. Okay, getting off the plane here, you go through one of those fancy little tunnels. There, you go down some fucking stairs,
Yeah,
and you walk across
tarmac.
the freaking like street thing, whatever it's called.
Yeah, the tarmac.
Yeah,
That's
you
exactly
just.
what I said.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear you.
Tarmac. Yeah.
You just walk to the airport. You don't get no fancy little tunnel.
Are
So
these
it
even
is kind of like
connected, babe?
DR.
I don't know.
It is kind of like DR because when you like land in Punta Cana, you walk like down this
Not
little
always.
stairs.
Oh,
no?
is that why the Cubans love going to DR and to Punta Cana specifically? Because they
No.
get that feeling.
Nah, I don't-
It's like they
Sometimes-
get that feeling of
sometimes
getting off
you-
the plane. Damn,
from-
look, it's
from
like
what I
Cuba,
remember-
but it's not like Cuba.
from what I
No,
remember,
DR's
sometimes
airport is much nicer.
yeah, 100%. You got it's
A little bit more funding, just a little bit.
well, you got actual like a bunch of restaurants inside like a normal airport, you know?
Yeah, like they have like
yeah, Taco Bell, bro.
they have like Taco Bell and like Checkers and stuff like that.
No, I haven't been into Santo Domingo, but Punta Cana airport is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Santo Domingo is like way bigger than that from what I remember.
Even I was surprised. Even like Colombia, Medellin airport was fucking really nice. You know.
So
Who do you think built them?
we go out,
The boy. Escobar.
we go out,
Mustache man.
well, we go out and we wait like 45 minutes to finally get the car rented. Dude, it's hot. And I'm saying,
No,
I've been
with
to
the
hot
car-
countries.
You guys didn't have any issues with the rental at all?
Not really
Eh.
issues, except for they gave us this small little like it's called look it up, Kia Picanto.
I
It's
know.
this
That's the
super
shitty ass car.
small.
I've seen them before.
Super small.
But
little
the thing
Kia.
was, my mom paid for a medium-sized car, and now
Yeah,
it's
That's
small.
why I asked if they give you any bullshit with the
So,
rentals because
my
they always
mom-
have some bullshit going
Yeah,
on.
my mom's like, I paid for a medium size. Like, what is going on? And they're like, oh, sorry, we have no other cars. The lot's full of cars. I don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
They could've just-
actually.
So did you
Bro,
take this?
Yes, that's small.
but
ass
that's a
shit.
new one. Like, ours was older. Like, it didn't even have like aux or Bluetooth. Like, we couldn't play music. It was
Yeah.
the
So
radio.
wait, let me ask you this. So they gave you this. Did they give you at least some of the money back?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
So we wait like 45 minutes for the rental. Driving there, it's very like DR ish vibes, but a little more rundown.
Oh yeah, you finally felt the bumps, huh?
Uh,
you know what bumps
well,
are.
No, I mean some places in DR are pretty bad, but you know for sure Cuba's worse. 100% the roads are way worse.
Yeah, because it's
especially-
everywhere. There's some areas that are worse, but it's everywhere. It's not just.
well, no, like the highways like pretty bad, like not as bad as you think, but like when you get into where she's from, Mariel, those roads are bad.
In Cuba, they don't fill the roads in with asphalt. They fill them with dirt.
Yeah. Well, no, a lot of them had asphalt. Well, actually, her whole city where she's from it was asphalt, but it was just all broken, bunch of potholes and chunks of concrete missing, and it was
And
the roads were pretty bad. Yeah.
the main entrance to the city, there was like, I don't know if it was a, what are those holes that happen?
Sinkhole.
I don't know if it was a sinkhole or what it was, but literally the main entrance to get into the city had a giant hole. So they literally had to create another little road to like go around it.
It wasn't a sinkhole anymore. They're doing something with the road there.
No, because I heard like se abrió un hueco, like it just happened and they haven't fixed it.
How many
I
people
don't
were in the
think so.
car?
On the way there
Four, yeah. No, five. 'Cause
me,
Victor-
you, my mom,
Oh
and my
right,
dad.
Victor went in the other car. That's right.
Victor wasn't even there.
Not
it was
Victor, Luis. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm tripping.
So it wasn't too bad then.
So
You had a little bit of space, a little bit.
oh no, going in the car was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Who
that
was driving?
cool.
My dad.
Her dad.
Dude.
I did drive a bunch though.
In Cuba,
Like, where we came from the airport to Havana, that same day when we got there, we hung out, like ate a little bit, and we dipped to Havana, and I drove the whole way there. It was like, and funny
no
part is,
GPS.
no, one of the guys we were with, Victor, he had his phone and he had service, so he had a GPS.
So you
Dog
were
shit though.
5 people.
I was
in the
gonna
car.
say, yo, GPSs are that's crazy.
Yeah, dog
that's,
shit.
that's
Horrible.
evolution.
That shit would just skip. It wasn't like a smooth like in your GPS on your phone. It was like, check, check. And
No,
so
but
like
the other thing too.
you would be pulling up to a road and it's like right there and you didn't know.
No, the other thing too, you weren't watching it, but Victor wouldn't just leave the
Yeah,
the
he constantly
and
would
watch
take it off. And,
He would constantly like zoom out, and it was one of those that when you would zoom out, it wouldn't just zoom out and still leave it flat. It would go into like a 3D mode, and the whole map would like you to show you like whatever around
yeah.
you. And so he was constantly doing that, and then he couldn't figure out how to get it back.
Bro, you weren't.
And he would be struggling, and then by the time he would get it back, it was too late. He didn't tell you to turn.
You weren't using GPS. You were using a fucking 3D model.
that shit was, so
Yeah,
listen,
their own little fucking
going-
extra
we're
sketch
going over
model.
there.
Topographic maps.
we're going over there, right? And we take it. We get off and we take in Malecon or around
Maricon? What?
In Malecon.
Ah, Malecon.
And
Maricón, yeah, that's the first thing I think of when they say that.
So we drive on that. It was pretty cool to see. It's long as shit. It's a lot longer than you'd think. That like
That's
area.
what she said.
and we go through and we trying to go someplace and he's like, oh, we're lost. And I'm like, damn, motherfucker, you're the one who's supposed to be our guide. You telling us we're lost.
So you had 5 people in the car when you were doing that?
Oh,
Six.
no, 6.
6. How the
Yeah.
fuck did you fit 6 people?
So Alejandra
Me,
sitting on her
My
boyfriend's lap.
cousin, Alejandra's boyfriend, and then Alejandra on top of him. And
Bro.
then Victor and Eddie in the front.
We
So-
fit 6 in the back. 2 in the,
6.
2,
Yeah.
2, 3 in the front.
I've
before.
done that before too in Cuba.
In Cuba, that bro, you're not gonna drive through potholes for 40 minutes just to take 3 people, come back, pick up another 3 people, and drop them off, and then go back again, maybe to wherever the fuck you're staying. Might as well just do everything in once. So that's what we did.
I've done that before. I was one of the ones in the like passenger seat in the front, like one of the extras.
See, you can't
That
say
shit.
shit about Mexicans. Cubans do it too.
Oh, have you seen the amount of Haitians they pull out
Haitians?
of a car in Dominican Republic?
Haitians?
Bro, I seen them pull out 16 Haitians out of a Toyota Camry.
Nah, but how?
And not one of the new Camrys, one of the old Camrys, so a lot smaller.
Damn.
nah, but how?
16. What do you mean?
Like
It's
the-
in there like a jigsaw puzzle,
in the,
dog.
in the trunk and everything. I'm
In the
guessing.
trunk and everything, yes. 100% in the trunk, yeah.
I'm just surprised
16,
that
bro.
car could go.
Right? Like, I mean, the Haitians aren't very big, so. But yeah, that's all those countries. That's them smuggling Haitians across the border to DR.
How was the toilet situation?
So no toilet seats.
Oh, you
Well,
learned.
just in ours because my
No,
mom
there was
said
multiple
the other one
places.
had a
No,
toilet seat.
90% of people don't have a toilet seat.
Well, yeah, when we were out and about,
It's a hot commodity.
when we were out and about, there was no toilet seats.
My
but
ass
also,
still hurts when I sit
The
down. on
room
toilet.
that we
Dude, those
stayed
things
in,
are spikes.
the room that we stayed in didn't have a toilet seat, but my mom and the other one did.
But then I looked at every other toilet around town. No toilet seat.
Did you have any issues eating food and taking a shit because it's a
No.
different kind of food?
No,
No.
Food
No.
in Cuba's not bad.
No.
Maybe
Well,
water, yes.
Ugh, the water. Ugh.
I would want me to.
yeah, water sucks.
They boil the water and
And
then
filter.
pass it through a filter, and like it tastes like boiled water. Like I can tell the taste. And
So
ugh, it
y'all
was
drank
disgusting.
the water at the house?
Yeah,
Oh, y'all tripping. Y'all brave.
they
That shit's so
boil it
fine.
and put it through a filter.
We don't. When we go to Cuba, we get the bottled water, not because
But
we're
even
trying
the
to like,
bottled water is
disrespect the
gross.
water or anything. It's just that we're not used to that water in our system.
Well,
Yeah,
the thing is,
So
if you
we
boil
would
it
just rather
and
do
pass it through a
purified.
filter, anyone can drink it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
it's rid of
are,
everything.
are we gonna do that?
Well, here's the question.
It
were,
wasn't
so-
us. It was the people at the house.
Here's the question: if they're gonna do all that, if they're gonna boil all the water and then pass it through filtration system, it's gonna take time. Why don't they just set up a distillation thing? You just fill
Nigga,
up the
they're in
pot.
Cuba.
And then
They don't
just
got no
fucking do it.
Amazon to order no shit.
No, I
They
mean,
don't got the money to even fucking get anything.
no,
Yeah,
I mean,
bro, that's like you're talking about something that's gonna cost at least a few $100, right?
no,
Them
'cause
boys are
distillation
still-
is Distillation
In
is super
Cuba-
easy. It's a copper piping that you put on top of the whatever pot it is. It's copper piping, and then the vapor goes through the copper piping. As it goes through copper piping,
Oh,
it
you're
cools
saying
down
drink.
and then just drips.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Like basically drinking like evaporated water.
Evaporated water, yeah.
Right.
That's distillation because it leaves all the soot
But
and
distilled
everything out.
water isn't really that good for you either way.
Distilled water is not good for you because it doesn't have any of the minerals in it,
And
right?
my
But
Same
it's
thing
much
as
better
RO
than the
water. That's not good
I remember
for
at
Yeah.
my grandma's house, there used to be a well.
well is
They
different.
had a well system, so they would, obviously get the water from the well, and then they would put it in
you. Yeah,
whatever
the house
container.
that
I
we
saw a
went to with the
motherfucker-
pool had a well. That's how they filled the pool.
I saw a motherfucker with opened a manhole in Havana, not in where she's from, in Havana, in the city, and it was there with a bucket, pulling out water from a manhole.
Yeah,
I never saw that. Where was that?
And would have in the little streets we were walking in Havana.
maybe
You
put
know
it,
where the little kids were playing soccer and throwing the ball?
Mm-hmm.
He was right there, literally right behind them. Not even behind them. He was in front of them, more close towards the street. Like 6 feet from the street, there was a manhole. And he was there, leaned over. He had a bunch of like 5-gallon containers. He was filling them up.
Yeah, because at that point you can do the distilled water, and what it does, it just literally the water evaporates. You take it all in. There's no bacteria, none of that shit inside it, and that's distilled water.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
no, they boil it and then they pass it through a filter.
Yeah.
I know it's definitely a big pain to even just find water in Cuba. So when we go, we try and buy them in bulk wherever we could find them,
Mm-hmm.
and then just ride with them.
Honestly, the majority of what I was drinking was like their Sprite.
Yeah,
Like that's all I would drink because I didn't want Coke. But
Ciego
like,
Montero.
that one was really good. There was another one that was called Santa Limon something
You say you didn't
They
like the
changed
Diego
them.
Montero brand of the sodas.
of the Coke.
Oh.
I
But
like
the
the Coke.
Sprite was good.
I'm a
No,
big
the
fan of the Coke.
Coca-Cola.
I don't know. Maybe it just brings memories
I
from when I
was
was a
drinking.
kid.
It
uh,
tastes like horrible diet.
You know what? I was surprised they had Presidente and Barceló there, like the beer and
President-
Thank you, Eddie.
Dominican rum.
President is big,
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's Dominican beer, Dominican rum.
and Heineken I think is another big one.
They had Stella there. I saw Stella.
The main one that you see though is like Cristal.
I never even saw Cristal. I never saw them drinking it. They were always drinking.
They were buying other stuff because they don't really like the Cristal, but
I don't
that's
know.
the most popular. I feel
I
like.
never saw
I
anyone
thought
drinking it.
I thought a lot of the people didn't get the Cristal because it's more expensive than the foreign ones.
I'm not sure.
I thought that's how I understood it.
Cristal, are
don't
you
know.
talking about champagne?
No,
No, it's a
Cristal is
beer.
the beer, the Cuban beer. Yeah,
No, okay.
they have Bucanero as well. Bucanero's good, but
I
it's
saw
hard
them
to
drinking
find.
that.
So you went to Havana. What'd you do in Havana?
We just walked around a little bit in this area where they have like a bunch of shops and restaurants. It's kind of like that think of a Cuban Las Vegas where it's like the strip kind
Did,
of.
did you go
where
on,
they have a
on
bunch of
by the
restaurants and
water
stuff.
there where they filmed one of the Fast and Furious?
No,
No, but that's the Malecón. That's where we were.
we
driving.
drove through that.
Okay.
That's what
drove
he was
through-
saying.
Bro, the amount of old cars there, that's like the coolest part about
I
Cuba.
have pictures.
It's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
So
Can
let
you
me
send
ask.
them in the Discord so you can put them up?
So let me ask you this.
It
They,
might in that
is it
Discord.
true? Because they're saying that they'll fix the faces of the buildings, but like the minute you look from the side, it looks like shit. They just fixed the top.
I've seen that with some hotels that were there. Like you would look at the front side, but then when you would drive past and look at the sides, it was like run down. But then the front was like beautiful.
Mhm.
I saw that on. But see, there was only like 2 hotels I saw like that, and those were like the 2 out of 4 nice hotels I saw in general.
I see what you-
Every single other hotel looked like an old apartment building that you'd find in fucking Chicago.
Let me ask you this, Miggy. Can you look up real quick cruises to Cuba?
Can you take cruises? I thought that I knew they did for a little bit, and then they took it off, and then I thought they brought it back again.
One.
Open that up. Open that up. That'll tell us everything we need to know.
Can Americans travel to Cuba on a cruise ship? And more questions answered.
When was this done? February. Okay, recent enough. February 28th of 2023.
One of the biggest questions raised frequently in the U.S. travel industry is this: can Americans travel to Cuba? That's because the past decade saw the more than 60-year travel embargo to Cuba eased just long enough for some lucky Americans to have enjoyed cruises to Cuba, both on specialty cruise lines and even on mainstream lines. However, the short window of opportunity closed on June 5th, 2019, when U.S. policy changes again blocked tourists to travel to Cuba. Travel to Cuba or transiting through the United States by any person considered to be under U.S. jurisdiction, which includes U.S. citizens located anywhere as well as anyone located in the U.S. regardless of citizenship, must abide by the regulations of the Office
OFAC.
of
Yo,
Foreign
that's
Assets
the
Control.
company that.
Well, it's not
I,
a company. Yeah,
I
okay.
know, but the department I'm saying
Mm.
that the guy is gonna have to send all the stuff to.
The major allowances for Cuba travel
get to
fall
that
under
story.
work-related reasons. Journalists can enter Cuba, for example, as can performers and athletes or people attending performances or sporting events. Meetings and conferences are also now allowed. So, no.
Yes and no. If you're going for some kind of basic, like you have to have some kind of reason
Purpose,
besides,
yeah.
Yeah, you can't just go there for fun.
right. That's basically the thing. You can't just go there for fun. Which you guys want to hear? We'll skip a little bit of some stuff that happened there. We'll go to what happened on the way back. Right?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
some of this,
I think
this-
that's the
Any
culmination.
alcohol?
What do you mean?
You drink any alcohol?
Did I drink any alcohol? I
Yeah.
actually drank Barcelona, like the same rum we
You
drink
didn't
here.
even have Havana Club?
No,
Oh my.
I did have a bunch
Lame
of
ass.
Cuban beers. I don't know what brand they were, but it was like a green.
You, yeah,
green can.
I'm surprised you didn't drink Havana Club. That's like the beer to drink. I
The
mean
rum.
the rum to drink.
I don't know. I've tried it here already. I don't like it. So why
Alright,
would I?
fair
If
enough.
I have the stuff that I like there,
But
why
is
would
it
I?
the same flavor? That's the question.
I would assume so because the ones I've had are people that brought them from Cuba.
Yes.
Mm,
Yeah, that's the times I've had it are just people that brought it. So
I see what you're saying.
should be the same shit. I've actually had some of their good shit. Like I had an I've
Dude,
tried their
we-
18 or 13-year one. They have an old
When we
one.
went to Cuba, we brought like one time 12 bottles.
12 bottles.
12 bottles that we snuck under
Yeah.
on the bags, and they took away 2. And I think one of the times they, because we did it multiple times
Yeah.
and allegedly, and the second time they actually told us, hey, don't do this ever again, but we'll let you pass. I was like, oh, surprising.
Okay.
Yeah, but we almost got in trouble.
So we're on the way back. Everything is fine, you know. So to give you some backstory, when I went to Cuba, we were in the airport, 4 a.m, I had to buy an $85 visa, like it was a tourist visa from what I was aware of, so whatever. So we bought the visa, and then we were allowed to do our check-in for the flight, get our boarding passes, get on the plane, normal process, right? Boom, we get to Cuba, so we stay there. 15 birth, gender reveal. Alejandra's having a boy. When we coming back, everything normal. Get on the plane. Oh, Cuban airport, hot as balls. Emily was having a headache and everything from how
Yeah,
hot
right
it was.
before we got on the plane, I started feeling dizzy and everything.
Yeah.
From how hot it was.
It was
Jeez.
And
hot.
then the plane was hot. Like everybody was with, the little papers to like pick out your food or like
the
your drink.
instructions
We
for
were all
the
there like
emergency. They were
in
all,
the plane.
Yeah. And
What kind of plane was it?
Southwest.
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 Yeah, that's probably one of the best ones I've flown through. Is Southwest. They super nice. Your seat at least goes a little bit back.
No, I like
The seats aren't
Southwest. I
hard.
think Southwest is a pretty good airline,
noticed-
especially for domestic.
I noticed they put extra cushion on top of the normal seat.
Yeah, they
That can
do.
be torn off and everything, I
Yeah.
guess, which is pretty cool. Anyways, we come back, we land in the United States in Tampa, and we go. The first thing you go through is immigration. You know, anytime you come back from an international flight, you go through immigration. The guy starts asking us normal questions. When we first walk up, passports. Okay, here you go. I asked him, "How are you doing today, sir?" He says, "Better soon. I'm getting off. Like getting off soon, or whatever." And he's just sitting there for a bit, and then he starts asking normal questions like, "Oh, are you guys bringing anything back with you?" No. Oh, no tobacco. No alcohol. No food. No. Okay. Are you guys? What was your purpose in Cuba? Oh, we were just visiting her family, right? And then he asked, "Are you guys married?" No. Okay. So you don't have any family in Cuba? I said, "No, my family is actually Dominican, but I was born here in the United States. My parents are not. No, I don't have family in Cuba." Okay. And do you have family in Cuba? Emily says, "No." Yes. Exactly what family do you have in Cuba? Emily says, "Oh, my mother's and father's uncles and aunts and cousins." And he asks, "Okay, so you don't have any first cousins there?"
No, he goes, "What are they to you?"
Yeah.
And
What
I
are
was
they
like,
to you?
my second uncle and cousin. Like I was confused. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, anyways, he starts naming that they are any of these people your first cousins? No. Are any of these people directly your uncles or aunts? No. Okay. And then he's like stays silent for a little bit. And then he goes into, "Oh, did you guys know that is not allowed? You guys you guys traveled to Cuba illegally, and he starts listing. They either have to be your parents, first cousin, directly your aunt or uncle, or one of your children that you have to be visiting for it to be a valid reason to go to a communist country. He said it just like that, communist. He kept listing the word name communist. So, and he says it is illegal as an American without valid reason to visit a communist country, right? That's what he said, not Cuba. And then he goes into, okay, so you guys are gonna have to fill out some paperwork, and we're gonna send it to OFAC, that same department they were just talking about, and OFAC.
It's basically U.S. Treasury Department. That's what it says.
OFAC will determine whether you will be fined or not. The fine can be up to $250,000. And then we're like, okay, yeah. And I asked him, I'm confused, sir. Why is it that I was not made aware of this before taking my flight to Cuba, that I'm being made aware as I'm coming back? He stays silent for like a solid 30 seconds. And when I mean like 30 seconds, I mean that was a solid pause before he said
thought
anything.
about it.
He thought about it. He goes, ignorance is not a valid reason for disobeying the law. Calls me ignorant. Calls us ignorant, basically. And after that, I just stayed silent. When it comes to those kind of that situation, there is no like reasoning.
You're only gonna make it worse.
Exactly. I was just curious though, like why wasn't I made aware? Like that. I feel like that was a valid question. After that, I didn't say anything else except for yes or no, no sir, until we went to the room. We're like, all right, we're gonna go to this room, give you guys some paperwork, and you're gonna fill it out. He hands us paperwork, but they sit us in like those normal benches at the airport.
I've been in that bed. In that room.
In that bed. Hey, yo.
You know what we call that room? I don't know if you guys call it the same. But we call it el cuarto del saco papa.
Cuarto del saco papa.
Never heard that.
Acostar papa. Because you're just sitting there and nothing ever happens, but they throw you in that room anyways.
So it wasn't like a small room. It's like a big area where they have all the metal tables to search stuff. So imagine this. We walk in through double doors, right? Directly across the room is a desk like this with two Hispanic guys behind it. When he walks us in, he takes us to the right, where on the left is all the metal tables and stuff where they check your baggage. On the right is where there's like the benches, the normal airport benches, right? Your normal blue foam and metal benches, They sit us down, and he's like, all right, here's the paperwork. And I said, do you have a pen? And he said, no. Then I said, I literally looked at Emily, and I looked back at him, and I was like, we don't have a pen. And he's like, okay, I'll see if I can find one. They get lost a lot around here, something like that. Bro, right when he goes behind the desk, exactly where he grabbed the fucking paperwork, he grabs two pens and brings them to us. And then I tell him, is there like a desk where I can write it? No, usually people just write on their suitcases. Anyways, Emily starts writing on her lap. I was carrying her suitcase, so I put it sideways on the floor. And to tell the story to the full extent, I actually asked the guy right as he was walking out. I called that fucking gringo back over, and I asked him, dude, I don't already understand this. It's asking me, do I have any specialized license to go to Cuba, and if so, what licenses and all this stuff. And he's like, no, you don't have any licenses because you were just visiting family that blah blah blah. So I circle no and no to both of those questions, and that's right as he's walking out, right? Instantly, he walks out of those doors, and the two Hispanic guys, I think they were Boricua or Mexican, So they call us over. Eddie, Emily, come here. When we walk over, the dude's already like smiling and chilling, and the other dude's like, I swear to God, I feel like they both wanted to start laughing just because his fucking dickhead of what he was doing to us. So they ask us, what was the first question? I think it was, are you guys married?
Why were you guys there?
Oh, why were you guys? Yes. Why were you guys visiting Cuba? Visiting family. Emily answered. I didn't say nothing because it was her. Visiting family. Then he asked, are you guys married? No. Do you guys plan on... This is not something the gringo asked. Do you guys plan on being married? Yes. Okay. Do you guys live together? Not officially. Okay. Do you guys plan on officially living together? Yes. I said yes, and I even told him, yes, we're already saving for a house. And he says, okay. And then he asked normal questions like, are you bringing anything? If so, blah, 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 blah. When we answered yes and no to all to the right things, like a normal immigration pass-through would be, he goes, give me those papers and pens, and goes just like this. He grabs them from us and goes, you guys can go.
I'm telling you, bro, I hate that room, dog.
He goes, you guys can go. Literally throws it just like that. You
like
guys can go.
basically saying fuck this guy.
Yeah,
Like,
fuck that dude for wasting your time. And the other Hispanic one wasn't the one asking questions. He was just sitting there. He goes, "You guys can leave, live life and prosper." That's exactly what he said.
I don't know if you heard my mom saying this, but she was saying that there was another like couple, like an older couple, that they were saying that if that guy era que le tocaba, they were gonna disimular and like let somebody else pass because they know he does that. Like I guess it's somebody who travels regularly and has seen him before. But my mom said that the couple, like the guy told him, si me toca ese tipo, yo no voy a ir. Si tú quieres, vas tú, and like you can argue with him, but I'm not gonna argue with him. Like I'm not gonna go with him. And my mom said that as we were coming out, another person was getting taken to the room by him.
Yeah.
So that's just that guy, and everybody that goes regularly already knows him and tries
That's
to
funny.
avoid him.
Fuck that dude. Anyways, so yeah, I can't go to Cuba, boys. And that Cuba
Unless
for
you
me.
have the global pass, I'm sure you pass right through
What?
Global entry.
global entry.
Oh, if I would have went through global entry, I didn't have to deal with none of those motherfuckers, huh?
Probably not.
Yeah, but at the same time, I wouldn't do it again. I just would avoid the situation because who knows? Maybe they'll ask me at global entry too because who knows? It's Cuba.
Yeah.
I'm coming from Cuba, so
But anyway, I mean, it's good you went and saw it, but I think Cuba would be one of those countries. It's just like you go to see it once.
You know what's funny?
You
While
don't
we
want to
were
go back
there
there.
walking to Havana, he was like,
Will you
I
fill
think
us with
Jay
water?
would really like this.
I probably
Jay,
would.
Yes, Jay, you would like the Havana how it was.
I would like it because of the like old buildings and like
Yes.
because you can explore shit. I would
Mhm.
like that.
Yes.
But that would be on like a one and done deal. You know what I mean?
And
like, I would
you
do it
don't need
once
as
and
many
then
days
never
as
do it
I was
again.
there. You need like you can get there. If you get there as early as we did and left as late in the day as we did, you could go one day and go back the next.
I was telling my mom
And
that.
that's enough.
I was
That's
telling my
literally
mom.
enough.
I was telling my mom before I was coming over here. Oh yeah, Eddie went to Cuba. He did the best vacation he could have. He did the 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm out.
Yeah. Yep. And you want to know that was too long. I
No,
think,
and you
for me.
want to know something? He's complaining that it was too long, but the day we got there, we went somewhere. The next day was the quinta, then the gender reveal, then we were back.
You need
Imagine
2 days.
if you
2
would have
days.
gone to
Just 2
Cuba
of those days are
You-
set
with
up.
nothing to
See,
do.
but this is the thing.
2 of those days are
The
set
first
up. The
day-
first day to get there and the last day to get back to the airport.
This is the thing, Miggy. The first day was like 2 days of time. That was a 26-hour day.
That's the longest day.
We woke up at 2 in the morning, traveled, got there before 11. Actually, before 10. Was at the house by like 11:30. Hung out, did stuff, went to Havana, walked around, got back at the house, showered. At night, we went out till 4 a.m.
Dude, that reminds me of.
So long. You can
To
ask
4 a.m.
Emily.
to where?
Emily could tell I was like losing my mind. Already on the first day because it was just I was so tired. It was such a long day. I was hot as shit. I was just uncomfortable.
Yeah,
And so-
honestly,
All
that
sticky?
first night, I was like, I shouldn't have brought him here. Because I could already tell he was hating his life. Luckily, the next 2 days, he
And-
was fine, like, because he was actually doing stuff and wasn't as tired. But the first night, I was like, I fucked up. Literally.
I was saying the same thing. I fucked up.
No, that's a long day. 26 hours of doing stuff. You know,
It was a
did you go to
long
like a
day.
local bar or something like that?
Yeah, we went to this place they call La Puntilla, which is basically like a little estate that has that used to have a hotel on it,
Hmm.
right? And not only does it have a hotel, it's got 2 pools. Actually, one that's a adult and kids pool. It's got another section a little bit south of it where on the estate where it's like where they do like a club kind of setup. Then they also have
No clubs, no clubs. They don't
Yeah.
have. They
There
have
is, but
clubs.
we never
Yeah.
went because
Yeah.
since Alejandra was pregnant, we didn't
Thank
want to
you,
be in
sir.
that environment.
oh wow, you got me ice and everything. How nice.
Because everybody smokes there and stuff like that. Is it
Not only
prominent?
that, but I mean, like,
People,
the spot where we were
I'll let her
going
say.
to, there was chairs and stuff, so we were like just all sitting, talking.
and it was
normal.
outside on the
At the
water.
club, it was gonna be standing the whole time.
Yeah.
And, like she was like.
And you don't know the customs of their clubs and things like that. You probably don't want to.
So
I mean, Alejandra knows almost everybody.
Yeah.
Like we're walking down the street and she's like, "Oh my god, hey
I got a
girl, hey
boyfriend,
guy!"
too.
Like
it's such a small
everybody.
it's such a small little town too that's like everyone knows everyone. And he's someone that like one of the ways he makes money is he's a barber and he also has he goes to Havana, buys whatever he can as cheap as possible, whatever because they'll just like have waves of different items that go through. and he buys it as cheap as possible. Say he buys it at 400 pesos, which is like $1. He'll sell it for $2 when he gets back into the little town they're from, and he's made a lot of money like that. He's also
Yeah.
a barber. Cool kid. Cool kid. I'm happy for her and that she found someone that seems a little bit responsible. Hopefully he can get his ass over here though.
No, they just gotta get married, right?
No, not necessarily.
No.
No.
There's other ways.
Well, yeah, but you want to do that legal status because
Can they do
otherwise,
it? Can they do it like that if they get married and she bring him over?
Of
She's
course
not
she
a
can.
U.S. citizen. So
Oh,
but
so
she needs
yeah.
to become. But the other ways, if she does it the other ways, that's gonna be an issue because he can't get a car. He cannot get
No,
a
he's
techni-
he's gonna
There's-
enter the United States legally.
yeah.
He's leaving Cuba illegally to this is the plan for him. He wants to go to Mexico illegally from Cuba. And there he can do a program to come to the United States because he has the option of going over the what they call la frontera through Mexico and just crossing the border illegally.
Yeah,
right?
that's gonna be bad.
So he's not doing that. He's gonna take the little bit of a. So he has three options, right? He can do the what they call the parole directly through Cuba, through them here, and it'll take probably like a year and a half
Why don't you
for him
just
to
do
get over
that
here.
shit?
Listen, he could do that.
It's
Option
not
B.
necessarily guaranteed that he'll come. with
It's
it,
not
though.
guaranteed. You never know if they're gonna call you and send you that paperwork for him to ever come. That's just the average that it'll take if you ever get it is about a year and a half, right? Option B, he can go to Mexico illegally and cross the border from Mexico to the U.S. illegally as well, or he can go to Mexico and then go from Mexico to the U.S. through another program that takes a lot less time than the program from Cuba to the U.S.
Most
does.
people have been
And
doing
he'll
it.
come-
Only takes like a month.
He'll come from Mexico to the United States with papers to work and everything.
Oh, that's a different story. Yeah.
That's why it's the better option. It's the more efficient time option as well. It's not as fast as
Yeah,
him
'cause
going to Mexico and crossing illegally. It's not as fast as that because that's a couple week ordeal probably at max. You know,
Yeah,
but
like 2 week,
yeah.
2.5 weeks.
Well, it depends
But
because like they
he
can
can
get
take
him.
he can
and
just do it in
put
a
him,
couple
like,
months.
Is it only
into a
for
little
Cuba?
prison for a while.
Is that program only
I'm
for
not
Cuba
sure.
from Mexico?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I know his mom is literally leaving this Friday to Mexico, but she's gonna stay in Mexico. That's where her husband lives, and so mom's going to Mexico already.
so when he goes, he has somewhere to stay.
Yep.
But yeah, he has the option of either crossing right away or staying there. Most people lately, the average has been like a month or so that they have to wait there to like get it approved,
Bro,
basically.
To give
But-
you an idea of how the money is over there, right? You have 400 pesos to $1, right? That's not as bad as Colombia.
It's supposed to be at 25 though.
Yeah, it's supposed to be at 25, and that was only like less than 10 years ago. It was at 25 pesos to $1, right? He said 2 years ago it was at 200 pesos to $1, and now it's at 400.
Yeah, inflation.
And people are still getting paid the same shit. From what I heard in that area, you get paid on average 5,000 to 6,000 pesos every month, right? So people in Havana, I heard, can make up to about 10,000 on average every month, right? But still, nothing. Like me and Emily were talking about, we spend 3 times that amount going to freaking fast food and buying food for the night, right? It's really nothing. A carton of eggs costs you 3,500 pesos or 35 or 4,500 pesos. So there goes already half your monthly salary in a carton of
More
eggs.
than half if you're only making 4,000.
I said 5 to 6. So let's say 6, and you're putting 3,500,
So you're
4,000.
basically paying $10 for a carton of eggs.
So
If it's $4,000 for a carton of eggs and $400 is $1, so you're paying $10 per carton
Yeah.
of
I
eggs.
think they said 3.
3,500, I think, with the carton of eggs.
So okay, $9.
Yeah. So but it's not a 12 pack. It's a 24.
Ah, okay.
This is 24 is what they told me.
So you're really paying for a carton of eggs. The 12 pack, you're paying what, about $350 to
So
$450?
things are dirt cheap, of course, because they have to, right? No one's gonna buy anything if it's not like I was buying a soda and a beer for like less than 60 cents. You know, I would pay 1,000 pesos for 4 beers.
Did you try any of the ice cream?
No, I did not. Oh, I had a paleta like
Yeah, but you
from
didn't have
strawberry.
that. You didn't have that Nestle ice cream
No.
type, the
Mm-mm.
buckets.
No.
No, you fucked up, dude. That's my,
My
shit
mom-
when I go over
My
there.
mom
See, the
did
thing
go
was
to
that I was
somebody's
already
house
worried
and
about
bought
my
them.
stomach. I didn't want to have more milk.
Do you go
I-
there a lot, Miggy?
I went there like 5 times.
But when you
And
were younger, right?
What I was thinking about
But you went when you were
earlier,
like 13, 14, right? You said?
I went there when I was
I thought 15. You even said.
approximately 13, 15, 16. Actually, no, younger. It was actually younger. It was probably around 10. Yeah, 10. It was about 2 years after. 10, 12, 14, 15, and then 16, and then I never won again.
So you went when you were last time you went when you were 16 years old?
Yeah, I was much
Okay.
younger. Much
What were you
younger.
saying with your mom?
My mom went to buy ice cream. I got some lady that like makes it. And when they opened it, I was like, what the fuck is this? So they literally take a box.
Mhm.
The box said like ice cream and everything on it, but they literally take a box and then they take a plastic bag, like a Publix plastic bag, put that in the box and then fill it with the ice cream. And when you open the little box, it's literally like a Publix bag with the ice cream inside of it. It looked really good, but I was kind of scared to try it, honestly.
They did that in Armenia when the situation was bad. One of the neighbors was an entrepreneur. He bought a little fucking like a little portable, what do you call those things? Like a food
Fridge?
truck.
Oh, okay.
Food truck, and he would sell ice
Or
cream.
like
and
a cart? More like a cart, right?
no, like an actual
Actual
food
truck?
truck. Yeah.
Okay.
And you go there and you either had to bring a fucking bag so they fill it up. But my grandma, since it was in a building, my grandma would send me down there with a pot. I would just take the pot, you would fill up the pot, and I would bring the
That's
pot
funny.
back home.
You know, I walk in at the first day when we go to eat. Emily's mom asked me, "Oh, you want a soda or water or anything?" I'm like, "No, I have water. If I have a bottle of water still that I brought, actually like a Fiji that we bought here in Tampa, one of those."
So you were
Liter.
milking that motherfucker, huh?
So I was gonna grab that to eat, and I asked her, "Oh, can I just get a napkin?" And she goes,
Napkin.
just like that, like she doesn't say anything. She just gives me that face, like, "Nigga, a napkin."
What the fuck do you think you are?
Well, there's napkins over there, just not everybody buys them.
Yeah.
Napkin? That's toilet paper.
No,
Yeah.
I saw one of her cousins. He was like cutting lobster, and when they told him, "Hey, Victor, come here for a second. What's up? What do you need?" Like, and he was standing next to a sink. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I was about to get in the pool anyway.
Now, after going,
Dude,
after,
this is
like,
bringing back so many memories. Like I remember my mom
No,
selling ice cream as well. I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah?
Go for it, and I'll tell you after.
so what I was gonna ask, like, we've gone to a couple of foreign countries,
not
between
the same.
DR and yeah. When you go to Cuba, right,
Yeah.
and then you come back, and then you see what the fucking situation there is, right? Do you start appreciating the shit that we have here
I ate
more?
every single bite of that large sub I ate today, even though I was full. I was eating it. I was
I
thinking.
got a pop some.
I don't know why. I was like thinking, like, yo, I feel bad. Like,
Bro, I got a pub sub and I was like halfway through it, I was like, I'm full, but like I kind of want to like finish it. I don't know, like.
Bro, that's
ate
why.
the whole
bro,
thing.
no, I'm gonna be for real. Like, you feel extremely bad. You feel extremely bad seeing the situation a lot of people are in. The situation that just the whole country's in. You know, it's it hurts your heart. It's no other way to put it.
And it's crazy to think, like, I mean, the house, like the people we were staying in, they live pretty good compared to a lot of other people.
100%.
But it's crazy to literally see like them and literally their next door neighbor. Like, you see the little girl walking around and you feel so bad for her. Like, it's not even like, oh, certain areas. Like, literally the next door neighbor could be completely poor and then the next person's rich. Like,
Yeah.
there's no like areas, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
What does this mean? Ozzy commented, "I have a plátano leaf for you." What is he talking about?
Oh, probably to wipe my ass because there was no toilet paper there.
I
I don't know. That was something. I took a roll of toilet paper with
It
us.
seems like
It
Ozzy
was
has
the best thing. It was the number one item in my backpack.
The
seems
toilet
like
paper.
Ozzy has
100%.
experience because that is a good leaf.
For taking shit.
Dude,
It's a plátano leaf.
That's a double ply right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice and cushiony.
That's that charming
That's
charming
that
shit.
organic double ply, eco-friendly.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, no, my mom used to sell paletas, like chocolate paletas, and I would eat them. But it was for selling.
So
When she was working towards getting funds to come over to the U.S., for some time she did that as well.
the best strawberry paleta I've ever had. I'll say that much because it wasn't just a normal like strawberry paleta. They dipped it in like a strawberry jam
Dude, the way my mom
and then froze it.
the way my mom
And it was
used
soft
to-
too because they had it in a freezer, but it was one of those freezers that like where you can see where they keep ice cream. It wasn't necessarily like rock hard, so right when I took it out, like you could bite it with your lips. It was nice.
The
It was good.
ingenuity is amazing. My mom used to have these like metal sheets basically, and they were shaped like a paleta. And she would make some type of natilla it was like a chocolate natilla.
Like
She would put it in there, and then she would put them in the freezer, freeze them, and then people would come later in the day or throughout the day, and they're like, "Hey, tiene paleta," and we would give them paleta. I don't remember how much she was selling them for, but
Yeah.
We did something similar like that, not with the ice cream, but we did that with lollipops. My mom had these like metal, like cast iron
molds.
molds.
yeah, that's
You
what
would
that's
open
the
that
word
you
that I
had
was
like a
looking for,
rooster
molds.
inside, you had a fish and things like that. So you would like pour sugar, like melted sugar in it, and stick a fucking
The little stick.
Yeah,
stick
she
in
would,
it.
she would
Candy
put a
out of
little
it.
stick on it as well.
Yeah.
I don't remember what she would use for sticks.
Bro, you
I've
wanna-
made those like ice cream thingies, but with
Yeah.
pudding. They're good.
They're amazing.
I
They're
make
really
them
good.
myself. Like I get the
Oh,
little
yes.
molds because
yes,
like
Emily.
when you
yes.
bite it, it like melts into
Yes,
pudding in your mouth.
yes,
They're
yes,
almost
yes,
better
yes,
than ice
yes,
cream.
yes, it
like
is better than
normal
ice cream.
popsicles.
Yes, I agree. Even like when you make them with the chocolate ones, I don't like chocolate ice cream. That shit.
And I don't
fire.
get just
chocolate
the
would be
normal
good.
like little. Is it Jello brand that makes the pudding too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't get those. I get like the
bougie
what's
brand.
the
It's a
one with the
artisanal
G?
shit.
Get I don't know what it is. Hold on.
Oh, Miggy,
about
pull
it.
up the picture. See, Emily, they're in Discord. Pull up the picture. See if we can show them. Can
So
you?
that's the lineup right there.
Yeah, those are
Can
a
you
bunch
zoom
of
in or
cars.
no? Because if anything, I can crop it and send it again.
I cannot zoom in.
Okay, hold on.
I can maybe open it in the browser and zoom
There
in
you
from
go.
there. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Yeah, bro. Look at that.
That's cool.
Those specifically are the ones that you can use, like on a tour.
Yeah.
Like you can rent it, and
But those
drive
are
them
newer
around.
cars there, parked.
Yes,
yeah, there's
bro.
new cars.
Yes, there's new cars. Like
But
they
yeah,
have a
those are
bunch
the
of
ones
new
that you can rent on,
Hyundais
like, an
and
excursion.
Kias. That's most of the new cars you'll see. Are
Do you see any
Hyundai
of the
and Kia.
Russian
a
Zhiguli?
bunch of Lada,
Lada?
a bunch of. You know what they didn't have? Lancia is Russian, isn't it?
No, Lancia, no. Lancia, I think, is Italian. But
No.
Lada,
Look at
Lada
that little
is,
pink
and
one
then they
too.
have Zhiguli and Zaporozhets. If I see it, I'll point it out. which one it is.
Muscovy.
Moskvich.
They call it
Muscovich.
Muscovy over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call him
Moscow.
Yeah, but the real name is Moskvich. And then they had Chaika.
But yeah, all of those that we took pictures of for the most part are the ones that you can do on like an excursion. Like when you go to DR, you pay for an excursion.
Yeah.
And you just go through all of like old Havana driving around in one of those.
Now,
tour.
this is, the country just
Oh, it is
started.
Italian. I thought Lancia was fucking
The,
Russian for some.
the country, obviously, when, with Russians, because if you look at Russia, right, the name of the Russia, the CCP that everybody says, like, it's Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. That's the USSR, Union of Socialist Soviet Republics, right? So socialism did that, right? Like they weren't necessarily saying that we're communist, but they were socialist, right?
So, I was talking about La Puntilla earlier, that place, that estate we went to. Not only did it have this rundown old hotel that apparently in Emily's, when her mom was in their 20s, it was like a really nice hotel that young people didn't go to. Anyways, you could see it was a nice hotel with a badass pool and stuff. On the waterfront side of the property, they took this old ship and they put it on land and converted it into like a bar.
Nice.
So that's where we would sit up there and it would be on the water and stuff. But it was weird because apparently some guy from America bought that property and started using it again because it was abandoned for a long time. And he won't invest real money into it because if he invests money and actually fixes it up, the government will take it away.
So the difference between like a socialist country versus a communist country is communist country literally owns everything. The stores, everything, literally. The factories, the stores, everything, right? Socialist countries.
They want everything but the shit you shit out.
Yeah, sometimes they even want that too.
Yeah.
But the socialist countries, they will allow you to have private businesses, but their social programs are bigger, right? So France is considered one of the socialist countries, and a lot of times when people talk shit about United States, they talk about France, Netherlands, Netherlands, then talk about Norway and things like that, right? But I have a little clip from YouTube that posted on Discord from France, and this is a socialist country that a lot of people. A lot of people basically are saying that United States should be like, right? So these are neo-fascists that are currently walking in France,
Neo-fascist?
neo-fascists that are walking in France, that are allowed to walk like this, protest, burn shit, create ruckus. They're responsible for more than 70% of the violence in entire France, right? And they're allowed to do that, right? This is the reason. This is like the outcome of having a socialist country. You know what I mean? Because no one is bad. We can fix them, and this and that. And you can see this shit right now in Canada. That's happening in Canada right now. Remember that clip we put where cop is saying, "Put your fobs in front of the door. Don't get fucking killed by people that want to steal your car." Things like that. And when people come in and say, "Oh, capitalism is bad. We need more socialism," this and that, I was like, "This is what you want? This is what you want." And usually those people are, very like against racism, against bigotry, against all of these things, right?
That flag with the red flag with the star, that's the Russian flag, isn't it?
Yeah, the red flag with a star. So it's a star,
What is that
mallet,
called? A mallet.
mallet, and that's what they used back in the day to cut grass.
What is it called again? A scythe?
Sickle.
Sickle. A sickle, right? That shit was hanging out some people's houses.
Yeah, yeah, because you have generations.
A lot of the people also have pictures of
The little flag I
Castro
told you,
and
the little flag on the
Bro.
banquito. I told you, look at that red flag. It wasn't the whole thing. It was just a small square flag with the star and the hammer and sickle.
Yeah.
It was hanging on the
Yeah,
shit.
the hammer and a sickle is a direct representation of like the working class people, the blah blah blah, right? But this is
the representation is beautiful. It's just it's not what it actually stands for.
I don't know if the representation is necessarily beautiful, but what see the thing happened with Cuba and that's happening with Armenia right now. You have 3 or 4 generations that grew up with this idea. And when 3 or 4 generations are grown up with
That's
this
what they
idea,
think
it's
is right.
very, very difficult to take that out of them, right? They know the situation is bad.
Where we went to for the baby shower, we had to go to like a little neighborhood outside of the town, basically. And as we're going through this back road to get to the end, because the house was on the beach, right? So we're going through this back road, and Alejandra's grandpa is in the car with us. We're like doing taxi rides, basically back and forth to the house. And he says, "Here's where the fucking snitches live."
Yeah. Yeah, because that's literally what it was. Back home, people were snitches like that too. And me coming from, growing up in a communist country, which was fucking terrible. I wouldn't have wished that on anyone.
I was afraid to ask Cubans of what they think or like how they
Don't.
because I didn't want to get into that kind of conversation.
Not only you don't want to get in that conversation, you just like the snitches.
Yeah,
somebody will go snitch on you because
You
that's
were
gonna give
talking
them
about-
status. Oh, I got this American that's talking shit. He's a spy. Now you next thing you're in a fucking Cuban prison, and they're
Exactly.
like, "Who sent
So
you?"
I never asked anyone about
Yeah.
Cuba or anything like that. That was a conversation I avoided at all
I was
costs.
surprised you didn't have people following you.
No, because it was not like I was going around with a fucking sign on my forehead going, "I'm American." So I was able to blend in ish until I opened my mouth. Then they
Yeah.
could tell,
Yeah, even with me.
yeah.
So the thing, what I'm trying to say, I wouldn't wish this on anyone. And then we went to live in Lithuania, which was a little more democratic, but it definitely wasn't capitalistic. And then I came to United States, which is capitalistic, right? And by me coming to United States, I would choose capitalism over a fucking Lithuanian economy, over a fucking Russian economy. Hands down, every time I would choose capitalistic economy over and over again. And when a lot of people talking shit, it's like, motherfucker, you need to go and live in those countries. You need to go visit those countries for 3 fucking days. All you need is 3 fucking days to understand how good you have it here and start talking shit. Stop talking
What
shit.
I can't, talking about how you were mentioning, 4 generations and getting that idea out of their head on what this is right and what's wrong. I just, man, when you go to that country and you see the condition that everyone is going through, right? It makes you question how can they believe that this is
Why
how
would
it
you
should work?
stand for this?
Oh, exactly. Why? How could you stand for this? You don't see, like, maybe you're doing well because you're a freaking snitch, but you don't see what the people around you are going through. And how is this what you think is the way it's supposed to work?
I think it's mainly a way of surviving,
It is.
and
It's what they've convinced themselves of, I guess, to survive.
No,
I
it's
think
it's
it's also.
and the fear of the unknown of what would happen if I rebel.
so.
I think it's also a big part of it. It's almost like there's nothing I can do personally, so why sit here and like stress about it? At this point, just be like, "Yep, this is the best way, and
This
it
is
is
the
what it
life.
is, and that's how it
This is
is."
Yeah.
Was not only that, whenever you have those bad situations, if there's war or situations like that, people align themselves with the strongest force possibly can because that
Right.
ensures survival, right? It's a subconscious
It's
thing
like
to
you said,
do.
survival.
Yeah, and these people align themselves with the government because they know
Can we
if
put
they
Chad up, please?
snitch, yeah, if they snitch,
Thank you, brother.
if they snitch, they're gonna get X, Y, Z. Thanks so much for the birthday wishes. Um, uh, see, they snitch, they will get XYZ benefits from
Right.
snitching.
100%.
And that's for them is survival, right?
You know, I committed a crime
Did you? Did you poop outside on the street
eating
or something?
steak.
Oh, you ate steak? You're not allowed to eat steak there, bro?
It's not that you're not allowed, but in that area where they were, like, you can't. If they catch you with raw, if they caught you with the cow meat, it's 20
Wait,
years.
really?
Yeah, that pan con bistec that we ate, that was actual steak. That one that we ate, that was a crime.
Yeah, and you know what was really sad? I didn't even like it. I like
What? That was one of the better sandwiches.
the one with the viste de puerco was better. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
No, yeah, I was eating and I was like, damn, I wish this was pork right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I was okay. I mean, maybe because I was talking and hanging out with them, I wasn't really paying attention to the sandwich. What I do know is like I was eating it. Alejandra's boyfriend goes, "¿Sabes lo que estás haciendo es ilegal." You know what you're doing right
But
now is illegal.
I thought selling the carne was illegal.
So apparently he was telling me
Having it is illegal.
Yeah.
Even if it's cooked?
Why is it illegal? I don't understand.
So
You
this is the
have
thing.
meat.
The
I don't
only
thi-
people that are allowed to sell you are restaurants.
exactly, and
Because
because
they're
the
part of the
restaurant
government.
gets it through the government
Same thing.
apparently,
goes for
but they don't
lobster.
really get it through the government. Yo, and we went to a restaurant. I actually wanted to say this earlier. We went to a restaurant. It was 6 of us. A bunch of us got drinks. A bunch of us got appetizers with our food.
Some got like pina colada and soda.
Exactly. Some of the people even ate twice. They ate 2 plates. They ordered one thing and another thing after they ate. $50
For 6 people.
for 6 people with alcohol. I got a margarita. She had a daiquiri. A couple people had
Bro,
pina colada.
$50. That's fucking.
$50.
You go out here, any restaurant, it's damn near you order appetizer
Shit, you go to
and a meal.
Taco
That's
Bell, you damn near
$50.
spend $50.
Parking garage is 15.
No, where we went to the club we went to, not club, but the La
bar.
Puntilla, where they had the bar. We would go there, and the one night we actually drove there in the car, and it was 100 pesos for parking, so 25 cents.
Jesus.
Yeah, the cheap is good, but sometimes with the cheap you get the
Cheap experience.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think
I
I would.
liked it.
I wouldn't go.
I
Again.
liked the restaurant we went to.
I didn't.
But I feel like you maybe just ordered something that wasn't good. You
I
know?
ordered
Because everybody else said it was good.
Yeah, I
No, you
ordered.
got cheated out of food. I understand
got-
why.
I got ropa vieja tacos.
Because the
And,
not
You know, usually they put the meat on the bottom taco and then lettuce and stuff. They filled the bottom with lettuce and then put a bit of onions with pieces of ropa vieja on top of it, and so it was really an onion lettuce taco with a sprinkle of shredded beef on it.
Yeah, because I remember in Colombia it was similar. Like if you went to the little less nicer empanada places, you would get a bunch of potatoes and just a little bit of meat in it.
No, so
But you get
listen
good
to
places,
this.
you get a bunch of meat.
That
and a
was
little
one of the
bit potatoes.
expensive places.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. So nobody was in there. Only tourists were walking in there, from what I saw.
What tourists though? From where?
There's tourists
That's what I'm saying.
European.
How are all
countries.
these gringos over there and it's not illegal?
It's
Exactly.
European countries
and European countries and other Hispanic
yeah.
countries
And,
too.
countries like Spain,
Yeah,
Holland.
a lot of Turkish people
When-
go there. A
when
lot
we
of
went
Turkish
to-
people
Why
go there.
Turkish people?
Apparently to work
to work where though?
in the cement factory and shit like that.
What?
I don't
Cuba
know.
pays better than Turkey? That
I
makes no
don't
sense.
know, man. I didn't understand when they kept
I don't know,
telling
I
me all
just
these
know
Turkish
that-
people going.
I know
over
that they're working in the cement factory and then also the patana. I don't know what the heck that means. From what I understood, it's a boat that gives power for the.
Patana, it's a boat. It's just from my understanding of what a patana is here, it's a boat that you use to build construction on other stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's
My
just,
dad
it's,
said
it's
he
just a
saw
work
them.
boat.
Like
He
a
said that they
pontoon,
were
like a big
those-
It's a
pontoon.
work boat. It's a work boat. It's
Well-
just
Okay,
a flat.
well-
It's just a flat boat. It looks like a
You
like a
transport
flatbed. It
shit
looks
with
like
it
a
like
flatbed
cranes
truck.
and stuff. Yeah.
Well, a lot of the Turkish people are working on the patanas, and the patana, like the boat, is giving power to the area, and the times that they
Yeah, she's on
turn
a
off the
schedule.
powers, that scheduled time is to do maintenance or do whatever to the boat, and then
Oh,
they
This
turn
shit.
it right back
This
on.
is the funniest thing.
Look up Cuban patana.
So
But the Turkish are starting to leave because Cuba's not paying them. So I don't know what they're gonna do once that last patana leaves, because there's only one left. Like there's gonna be no power at all.
oh shit.
Supposedly another one is coming that's even bigger. That's
Go
supposed
images.
to be better, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's
So
the
listen to
boat
this
right
shit,
there.
Jay. They have a schedule.
Pull up.
Okay.
So yeah, workboat. It's probably. I think my dad said it was
She's
big.
got the
I don't
Turkish
know.
flag on it right there. Pull it up. That's the moon and a star. That's the Turkish flag.
Oh,
right?
that's a okay. So
That's the
actually, no,
Turkish flag.
that's that. I saw Russian flags, but I also saw Turkish
That's
flags.
a Turkish flag.
I also saw the Turkish flag was the one on top of the boat.
Mm.
Now that I'm seeing that, because it didn't. Now that I remember, it didn't have the hammer. It looked just like that
See, it says
sickle
power
and the
of
star.
shit.
Power of friendship.
And
on the
didn't we
back.
see it in La Habana too while we were driving?
I'm not sure.
So this is part of probably some socialist collaboration between the two countries.
Yeah, I think it's some program that
A lot
the
of these
Turks go through.
socialist countries, they do a lot of you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, and they
Right.
do a lot of worker exchange as well.
Exactly.
So that's another.
That's
thing.
exactly
Like
what
I'm
it is.
sure,
It's a program
I'm sure
through
they're
the
taking
Turks.
Click on
the
that.
cement.
Click on Llega a Santiago de Cuba Central. The one in the middle, the very last one. Down one more. Over, yeah.
So listen
See.
to this shit. This shit apparently is what gives power, right? They have a schedule on when the power outages are to save power on purpose. Listen, so this is in Mariel. Other cities are different.
Or to
We
do
talked to-
maintenance on the boat.
This is a weird coincidence. So when we were going to Cuba, the Southwest flight had a bunch of empty seats, right? So we decided to see,
Let me ask you.
These
You
are
said that
floating nuclear reactors. This is what it is.
floating nuclear reactors, that's fine, but what do they do? Fucking, they got a gigantic little fucking plug in there. They just hook it up
I
and then
don't
the
know.
electricity
I don't
goes
know.
through.
Yeah,
But-
that's pretty much what I'm thinking of.
we actually, so when we got on the plane, there was a bunch of seats open, right? You know how they have like A, B, C, and even D, like boarding groups?
Yeah.
There was nobody in D. Like that's how empty the flight was, where it was not empty, but a lot
Coming
of open
back?
seats.
Not
Both
going
ways.
there, but
Both ways, right? So going there, we sat in the row that's behind the emergency exit, because where the emergency exit was, there was no seat closest to the door. So I sat on the window side closest to that, on behind it, so I had all the leg room. I got coached for free, So on the way there, you have to speak fluent English to sit in those spots. Only another couple that was going sat on the other side. We never talked
Were
to
you
them or
guys
anything.
hated because you could speak English and you got the
I don't
cool
know.
seats?
I wasn't paying attention, but all Cubans, they all love giving dirty looks over there.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that. Honestly,
I didn't pay
That's a good
attention.
question.
But anyways, it's funny because on the way back, it was similar. The flight was a little bit more packed, but they said it was 40 seats still open. The same couple that was sitting on the seats doing the same thing as us on the other side was the same couple that we were on the way back. It was funny. Like Emily said that after we sat down, like the guy
The guy
was like looking at her and
he
he like,
looked over and was like,
and we're like,
wait.
oh, what's up? Anyways, we talked with them a little bit, and where they were
Did
they
you
were
speak
staying,
Spanish with them or English?
English.
Both,
Both
but yeah.
actually, both. They said that where they were staying, it would go out for up to 10 to 12 hours randomly. Where we were staying, it
Boys
was
are
on a-
going up Pinar del Rio.
no, it was somewhere else.
She said where, but I didn't understand.
I
I
didn't
don't know
understand.
Cuba enough to really know.
Uh,
that.
big
I
ass
was like,
fucking
I'm gonna
okay.
keep thinking of names and I'll just keep naming them.
It
off
started
soon.
with an M, I think.
Not Matanza. It wasn't Matanza. But
So how long did it take for you to get from Havana to that
35,
little
40
city
minutes.
back and forth?
Well,
Can you
we
pull it
took-
up on the map so we can see where they were?
the first
Ma-
time we
Mariel.
took a little longer,
Mhm.
but it was because we were going behind our friend, and the car that they were in was kind of messed up, so we had to go slow
Slow.
behind them the whole time. But it would have been a lot faster.
So
I think we took,
that's
like,
Mariel
45
and that's
minutes.
Havana. Okay, so
yeah,
it wasn't
Mariel has a really big port.
So technically, if you wanted, you could literally drive the entire island in one day.
It's pretty fucking big, though.
No.
Could you? Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
sure you could.
Technically, could you? Yes, but it'll take you a very long time just because of all the fucking messed up roads.
That's what
Mhm.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Because, like, Where's Pinar del Rio?
Bro, like, see,
All the way back.
if
So look at the space from the port of Mariel to where he's pointing of that. That takes about 4 hours.
From
That should
Havana.
not take
From
that
here
long.
is 4
And you're
hours.
already, you know,
Okay.
That should not take that long. Like
especially
if it
from
was
Mariel,
here, for example.
if from Mariel taking 35 minutes.
No,
well,
no, no.
Maria is right next
Not
to Havana
35
though.
minutes.
Manzanillo.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't.
Maybe it might have been.
See,
If it was over there, they would have taken the other.
What is that? What's that
airport.
one on the far right that says Port of Moa? What is that? No, up. What is the rest of that?
They would have taken the airport that's on that side of the island.
Oh shit.
so to me, the way
That's
this
true.
looks, if the Cuban government had half a fucking brain, half a brain, they would have said fuck you to all the socialist bullshit, open this up to the foreigners, right?
And
Have
they'd be
them bring
making
in
hella
the
money
money,
in the
invest
tourists,
in,
bro.
The entire island has beautiful water. It would
Yes.
be all resorts
Yes.
and tourist money, and I'm
Bro.
guaranteeing you, within 5 to 10 years, everyone's life would just like fucking skyrocket. 5 to 10 years.
I agree
that's
in the sense where they need to do something, and man, if they made Cuba into a tourist attraction and like they do a DR with a bunch of resorts, like take a whole city and let's say fuck it, let's do this and make it into resorts. Man, they'd make some fucking money.
They would make hella money.
It's got so much potential to be extremely beautiful, and it's not that it's not beautiful. It's a beautiful country.
And you know
in
what's
its
the
own
funny
way,
part?
but-
They could still stay corrupt as fuck. They could still take the money,
Yeah,
and they
it's like-
still will make the fucking life better for everyone. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, the idea that like other places have money, why would you not? Like, I mean, they clearly know that the situation is shit. People don't want to live there. Like, you clearly know your country is fucking failing.
Yeah, when you have people that will flee on a little raft just because they're so done with you.
And they're going refrigerators, bro. It's
Yeah, I
not
know.
unheard of people fucking leaving Cuba on
It
refrigerators.
isn't. 100%.
Inside their fucking refrigerator. So this is what I'm saying. Like, like these people don't fucking get it, Like, to me, like, the best example of that I can give you is like, like this
Every
group-
time I'm on a beach in Miami and I see like a floating by itself, I'm like, oh, that was someone's vehicle.
Yeah. No, I mean it's I mean you're laughing about it, but probably was. You know what I mean?
What were you
But
saying?
what I was saying is like, right now we're big in solar power, renewable energy,
Right.
this and that. If you think about it, who's got most money for that? The electric companies. They're the ones that got the money. They can invest in it. The Exxons, the Duke Energy, those guys, they can invest into
Is
this
this the
stuff, right?
Cuba? Is this the Cuba you remember, Eddie? Well,
That's
this
what
is
I'm saying. There's parts of
I've
Cuba that
heard,
are nice.
I've
of
heard that
Cuba
this
that are
food's
really
really
nice.
nice.
But again, these are only available to select people. It's not open to everyone.
No, I understand that, but how are they making the money for only select people? Do you see what I'm saying? The entire island could be this, and this could be for regular people, and these select
you
people
guys
could
have to
have better
remember
shit.
that although Americans are not allowed to go to the U.S., Cuba still has relationships with other European countries that do allow visitors. Russia is a really big one.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, even if you take Russia, right? Like, who's gonna go to Cuba from Russia, right? It's not gonna be the oligarchs that are going to spend money. It's gonna be an average Russian that's gonna go there, right? But average Russian most likely would elect to go to Turkey before they'll elect to go to fucking Cuba.
That's a long flight.
It's a long flight to go to, and average Russian will probably
Yeah, but
elect to go to Dominica or
but-
Dominican Republic before
But
they go to
it's just
fucking
that
Cuba.
Cuba has that allure to it. It's Cuba. It's not just.
No,
You're going to Cuba,
I,
you're going to experience something completely different.
I understand, but then when you get there and
It's like us wanting to go to Japan. It's far as shit.
so
Could we go to Colombia? Yeah, sure. It's right there. It's short, but we want to go to Japan.
So I know what you're saying, but like, look, my buddy was just in Turkey. He was celebrating his birthday a couple of days ago, and in Turkey they had absolutely everything from all kinds of foods to seafoods to whatever you wanted, and they were staying in
was
a
5
resort
years
and
ago.
enjoying their time, right? So if I'm gonna go to a resort to Cuba, this is the kind of experience I want to have. I want to have the experience that I'm used to plus, right? So if I'm gonna go to Cuba and have a minus experience, what's the point of it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. Like, I
I
don't
will
get
say
that.
I got to experience this for free because we sold our maletas for $250 each, and the flight was
Allegedly.
$500.
Allegedly.
So we took stuff for a bunch of people. So allegedly, I mean, it was nothing but like food and clothing
It's not
and
illegal to
basic
take
necessities.
shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you have to resort to that shit to, like, open the fucking country up. Don't be fucking stupid. Continue to take it. Continue to be corrupt. Continue to take the money. Continue to get rich. Nobody's saying don't do that. Do that. But then you're gonna increase the livelihood of everyone else. These people don't understand that they can literally retire. They open the country for 5 to 10 years. They can literally retire from absolutely everything and live in Monaco. Like the level of like they just don't have it. They don't get it. And that's all of it is due to fucking communism. It's due to Russia. And literally that's the same situation that's right now happening in Armenia.
I was very curious to ask how they taught the history between of the the revolution and America's influence and Guantanamo Bay and Russia's influence during the Cold War. And I want to hear that from a Cuban that lives there, went through school there. I want to see what they have.
I can tell you my own story, right? My grandpa swore up and down he will never allow his daughters to marry a capitalist.
Your grandpa?
My grandpa said that he will never allow his daughters to marry capitalists. There was this hate about the capitalists, how they're pigs, they're selfish, they don't care about no one, they don't like to help each other, they don't this, they're like the capitalists are like the boogeyman for everyone that's a communist. Capitalism is a boogeyman.
Okay.
It's like the worst fucking thing that could possibly happen. And in countries like that, in the communist countries, it was big on like saying the internal virtue, like how smart you are and this and that. But none of that shit matters if you don't have fucking bread on the table. None of it matters. You can be very intelligent, you can be a musician, you can be but no one knows about you. No one cares about you. None of your shit matters. You know what I mean? Like it's just that
I was just reminded of randomly during one of the times that the power went out, Alejandra's boyfriend's mom had just passed by Alejandra's house to get some clothes from him to wash. And literally she walks out and 20 minutes later, boom, power goes out. We're like, damn. So I mean, she probably put her clothes in the wash, and the moment she started that shit, it went out. Dude, the situation is just bad.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to explain. They have a schedule on when the power goes out. Or are you done? My bad. I know I cut you.
No,
yeah. Go ahead. They have a schedule. So one day it goes out from 3 o'clock. Every other day, it goes out from 3 o'clock. No, sorry. 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock. 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. That same day, it'll go out from 8 p.m. to midnight. And then the next day, I think the 10 a.m. to 3 is every day, right? Something like that.
I only remembered the nighttime schedule. The daytime schedule, I didn't care because I was like, whatever, we're out and about. But the nighttime one was the one that worried me about sleeping with no air.
Right. But the 3 periods were basically 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., 8 p.m. to midnight, and midnight to 5 a.m. I think the 8 p.m. to midnight and the midnight to 5 a.m. are the ones that go back and forth. I think every day was actually 10 a.m.
Yeah, every day was the same. It was the nighttime that switched.
Yeah.
We got lucky, though. For whatever reason, it never went out for more than an hour and a half, 2 hours, except for the daytime one. The daytime one sometimes would go at 11 and it wouldn't come back till 2. And it really wasn't that bad.
The transport situation in Cuba is another thing, too. They have these trucks called La Pirina because it's so hard to find medication, the aspirin, that they called it La Pirina. It's bad.
Yeah, because I lived through that. I lived 3 years in Armenia with no electricity. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's no way, bro. It's.
But is it hot there?
In Armenia, it can get hot. We do have winters that snows once in a while, but it can get hot. It's not Florida hot by any means.
Right.
And it's more of a mountainous area, so the water that you drink is actually naturally cold that's coming out of the faucets, and it's clean. It's clean water because it gets filtered through all the sediments, So, but
so it's not
big
that
country
bad,
into fruits and
heat-wise.
food, but for 3 years straight,
I
when they
will
closed
say-
the gates, we didn't have anything.
I will say, what do you mean 3 years close the gate? What do you mean?
So when Armenia got their independence in '89 from Russia, we lived there until '92, and '92 when we escaped, right? But then they still had that for a couple of years afterwards, so it kind of lasted until they kind of got their shit together, started writing agreements with different countries, and the agreements ended up being with Russia, so on and so forth, right? Because what happened when they got the independence, Russia basically closed the gates, and the only ones that could give anything was Russia or Georgia. Georgia was also part of Soviet Union, so they closed the gates to Georgia too.
Yeah.
Georgia didn't have anything. The other side was the Azerbaijan and Turkey. They're sworn enemies. They weren't going to help. So the entire country just collapsed completely overnight. No electricity, no food, no gas,
Basically, they
no
got their independence
kerosene,
and then had no foundation to
nothing,
get anything.
nothing. They had nothing, and then they had to slowly rebuild, and that took solid 10 to 20 years
Got
to
you.
get to where they are right now.
And you lived through the first 3 years of that.
Yes,
You were there for
and
that.
all the
Okay.
presidents that came along, they screwed the country over, but they did bring the level of the country up. It's not Cuba anymore. It's not. They have electricity, they have foods, they have clothes. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They have those things. The situation is not that bad as Cuba, but it's still shit. But the people that were like became presidents right after the collapse and everything, they own diamond mining like quarries in Africa. Like one of the presidents' daughters got married, and it was a 4-day wedding, and they have it on YouTube right now. You can go on
Oh,
YouTube
shit.
and watch the president's daughter's wedding. Like they had the best singers of Russia come out. Like whoever was in charge, they made hella money doing that. Because what they would do, they would say, okay, well now I'm part of this agreement, I'm part of this pact. You want to invest into my country? You want to
Just
invest
tilt
into
it
my
towards you.
country? That's fine. Go ahead and invest into my country. So they would do is they would take the money and then they would bankrupt that company and say the company doesn't exist anymore and we can't build anymore. So they would just take all that money, right? And that would become theirs.
Okay.
So they became billionaires by being presidents, literally became billionaires. But whatever little money that came through brought the level of the country up a little bit,
Okay.
right? There's still the same mentality. Like a lot of them were talking about how Russia is great and this and that. But I'm hoping that the newer, younger generation is coming up different, and it's going to change, because if the younger generation doesn't change, Armenia will not exist in another 30 to 50 years. So,
What I was gonna say was, I will say DR is almost worse with the power outages because there ain't no schedule. So it's like, boom, it's gone. All right, who knows when it's coming back, kind
Well,
of thing.
But it
That's
doesn't
for the
happen as
people. That's for
often.
the people that have the schedule. Some people don't have that schedule.
Right.
Well,
that's
they
in
don't
that. That's in
have-
that area
Yeah.
at least, But
And I
when
mean, they
DR
don't really
goes,
have a schedule.
gone.
They've kind of just figured it out. Like it's been happening for so often that they've kind of calculated, okay, this is the time it's gone. Oh, today it left at this time. They've just been keeping track, and now they've figured out
Oh, the
what they
attendant is
do.
5 minutes late.
Like sometimes, like the days that it was supposed to be from 12 to 8, sometimes it'd be like 12:05, and we're like, oh shit, it hasn't gone yet. Maybe it
12
won't
to
leave.
5.
3 minutes later, like it
Yeah.
will go away. So I don't know. It's weird.
You guys have heated showers?
yes.
Oh,
But no one wanted to take a heated
That's
shower. It's
one
hot
pro.
Yeah,
as
no, it was
balls.
hot as fuck.
that's one pro.
But like I'm talking about like hotter than water here, heated shower.
That's because remember they probably didn't have the water heater regulated. They just had it on full
probably
blast.
gas heater.
That too. Who knows?
Probably
I don't,
gas
I don't
heater.
know what it was. All I know is that I would turn on the water and I'd be like, oh shit, and have to like move it because it would literally like boil.
Yeah. It was weird because you'd put it to a point, you'd wait for it to get hot and everything, and in the middle of your shower, it just get boiling hot.
Yeah. And it's funny because the girl who lives over there, Emily, the one that we went for her quinces, she took a shower in like the other room because we rented all 3 of the ones in that little house. That third one, like she stayed there one day, her dad stayed there another day, like just whoever needed it. And when she went to shower there, she didn't know that the water got actually like hot. So she puts it to like all the way to the hottest,
Oof.
thinking it was just gonna be warm.
Oof.
She said the smoke started coming out of the shower head, and she's like, "Oh my god, I burnt this thing!" And she got scared and everything because of all the smoke that started coming
Bro,
out.
speaking of burning shit, they give us a fan to put in our room just in case the power goes out, the electricity goes out. They have a generator, so you can't use the AC. It's not strong enough for the AC, but it's strong enough for fans and lights and stuff like that. So they give us this fan, and they have their plugs. They're all flipped sideways. I don't know why. There's not a single one of them vertical. They're all flipped sideways, and with a sticker on the top that's a yellow, neon yellow sticker that has the little triangle with the exclamation point,
Mhm.
and then it'll say 220 volts, or it'll say 110. But it's the same fucking plug. Your brother yesterday, when I told him that, he goes, "How the fuck is those houses not burning down? Like, how can those plugs handle that? I don't know." We didn't know that it was 220 and 110 and the different. Like, I know there's a difference, right? But I wasn't paying attention. We saw a normal plug the fan in, turn that shit on, and we turned it on for like a few minutes. I was in the bathroom. I come out, Emily, and I sit on the bed, and the fan's hitting me. I'm like, that fan's burning. It's like, what? She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, that fan's burning right now. I turned it off, unplugged it, and we told Emily's mom, and instantly someone's like, did you guys put it in the 220? And I was like, oh, oh shit.
But we didn't tell the lady we did that, and she's like, "Oh, it's okay. I washed it, so maybe it got water in there."
No,
blah, blah,
but you
blah."
know, something actually happened where one night I went to go get something from the room, and she came out of her room. She's like, "Oh, is the woman here?" And I was like, "I don't know." She's talking about your mom, and I was like, "I don't know." Normita, blonde hair. It's like, "Yeah, yeah, her." And I was like, "No, she's not here." And so she's like, "Oh, can you get her for me?" And I was like, "Okay, let me go upstairs. Maybe she's in her room." And I go up there and it's just your dad, and he's like, "No, she's across the street." Okay, and she had came upstairs with me, and she was waiting in like the little area with a TV and a couch. Was there a TV there, right, in that little area? Anyways, she's sitting on the couch and she's like, "Oh, is the fan in there?" Because she saw I went in the room, and I was like, "Oh, you're talking about the fan that like they said it'll smell burnt?" She's like, "Yeah, yeah." And I was like, "Oh no, that's in my room actually." And we went and grabbed it, and she like came in the room with me, and she's like, "Oh, did you guys plug it in here?" Because we didn't have it plugged in still. I had unplugged it and like draped it over the fan. And I was like, I don't think so. I think it was plugged in on the other side. It's like, oh yeah, because the ones where the fridge and next to the bed are 110, but that one next under the little bar is 220. And I was like, I don't think it was plugged in there. Anyway, she's like, I think you guys plugged it in there. And I was like, no, I don't think so.
We
But
definitely
apparently,
did because the room was literally the size of a shoebox, and the
Mhm.
only outlet that was close to an area where the fan would fit was the 220. So
Imagine-
Give
I
her
just
some,
put it
bro.
there.
You
And
should have just gave her some money, but like, here, just buy a
No,
new
the
fan.
fan
it,
still
it
worked.
worked fine.
Oh,
It
okay.
still worked because
put
it
it in
turned
the
it off
110 and it
almost
was
right
fine.
away. So
If
it
we
just
would have kept going,
the brushes definitely burnt a little bit, but the fan still worked. So
Mm.
it was pretty funny.
That's
though.
funny.
Cause see, like you're talking about showers, I remember, cause our building, the pumps were not good enough, so they wouldn't pump water up. So you had to go downstairs, and we had a little water fountain downstairs outside for everyone to drink. Cause Armenia is known for having water fountains everywhere you walk. Everywhere you walk in the city, they have water fountains you can drink out of, right? Can you pull up Armenian water fountains, drinking water fountains, so you see what I'm talking about? And it's constantly running. It's not like a button. It's constantly pushing water out. Yeah, go into
Pulak.
images.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, pulpulak. Pulpulak. So go down. Yeah, so either one of them. Just click either one of them.
Oh, one of those circular ones.
Yeah, like click the one no, the one of the single ones. Like that's
the one
that's
right next to
many,
the
but
one you
yeah.
just
So
clicked on.
every yard would have one of these, and this
Really,
is
that often?
natural water that comes out from the ground and clean water. You can just drink it as you're passing by, right? So we would go downstairs and put pots and collect this water and take it up to the 5th floor for us to heat the shit up and take showers like that. Yeah,
That's a process.
yeah. Like when I tell the people I lived the life, I know what it is to like live that kind of a life, and I don't even want to go back to that. And I don't want anyone to go back to
See,
it.
I don't know. I don't care that much to take cold showers, but I bet if it's cold outside, you want a hot shower. So
Yeah, yeah, you do want a hot shower. It's just, like like literally you would just we had a tub, you would have a chair, you would sit on the chair, you fucking put water on you.
I remember those good old days.
Yeah, put a little water on you. Make sure that water drips over the soap to get that soap nice and lather. You would lather up, and then you pour water, and then you have to be very careful not to use up all the fucking water. Otherwise, your brother couldn't take shower, your mother couldn't take shower. You know what I mean? Like, no one wanted to go down and get more fucking water because it's
Right.
like,
There was a point in time. There was a little bit of an evolution, like as I was growing up. When I was younger, like 5 years old, that I can remember, we would warm up the water using wood, like logs, and
yeah.
you put it on top. You heat up the water.
So
And
sometimes
then
when we
when I
did,
was a little bit older, 7 years old around there, we got fancy. We got like an oven that had a
kerosene or
one of those things that you were talking about. It heats up an element,
element,
and then
Heating
we would-
element,
we
yeah.
would heat up the water on top of that.
Yeah.
And then later on, a little bit further on, we got a tube with a heating element, and then we would just have to get the water, put the heating element on top,
Yeah.
inside the water, and that's how we would have
the
our warm
heating
water.
element he's talking about. It's a wire
It's a wand
that
it's like
goes
a
down
wand.
and then coils like this. At least I think that's the one you're
Yeah,
talking
it's
about,
like a
and then goes
wand.
back up. So you plug it in, and it's like positive and negative, and then heats up the middle, like literally becomes red, and you dump it in the water, and that boils up the water. Yeah, that. Like that very go down
Yeah, look at that.
similar to that, not necessarily that.
I mean, who knows the one he had?
No, it was
Like,
that.
do a Russian one. Do a
Just
Russian
similar.
heating element. Russian tea heating element. Tea like drinking tea. Soviet Russian. Yeah, that right there. Go back up. Up.
Oh, this
That
shit right
that
there,
kind of
brother.
shit. Yeah, right there.
That was it right there.
That's the
The
heating
one,
element, bro.
brother.
Yeah, that's the one. And then sometimes we wouldn't even have because everything in the homes was gas.
look at the
Yeah.
look at the Reddit thing. This metal coil heated the fuck up the second I plugged it in. What is this for besides causing a fire?
Literally, bro. Like this is what we would use to heat up water, right? You know, and then
Brand motherfuckers.
sometimes you didn't have the electricity and the water heater, the boiler was powered by gas and you didn't have gas. So how do you heat up water to take showers? We would keep the water outside in the balcony under the sun. Sun would heat up the water and that's what we would use as
Shit,
hot water.
that one I never did. I didn't
Yeah.
do that one.
Yeah. But that's how
It
we
ain't
would,
got no gas in it.
yeah.
The other ingenuity of Cubans is the way they dry their clothes.
What do you mean, hanging them?
Yeah.
Yeah, hanging
I
them,
mean,
yeah.
that's known anywhere. They're in a dryer.
No, but you hang them on a string that you prop up using whatever stick
Yeah.
or whatever.
Because we
Or
lived
you
on a
put it on
balcony.
the-
And you put
and
them.
you hang it on the roof.
I didn't have. I wouldn't say I didn't have a roof, but I didn't have a way to get into a roof.
I heard a
That's it.
You didn't
story.
have a planta?
I heard a story
No,
of
we lived in a
Randy's
wooden,
sister and
custom,
her husband when they went to Cuba.
wooden house, I guess.
That apparently where they were staying, they had no electricity, and so instead of sleeping in the room that they told them to sleep in, they slept on the roof
I
just
bet.
to get it like
Little
breeze
bit
in
of
the air.
breeze.
I was like, how the fuck they did that with the mosquitoes, dog?
Yeah.
Mosquitoes out there are wilding, dog.
I didn't get bit a single time.
So
I
the
got
Everybody was
about-
telling me to take bug spray. I didn't get bit once.
So talking about the clothing, right? Because we live, my grandpa's and grandma's the apartment was on the fifth floor,
Okay.
and from the balcony we had the strings, right? But the balcony was larger.
Yeah.
How
the
do you
people that have
access?
apartments have the strings at the apartment.
Yeah, how do you access? How do you access further clothing? So this shit was a pulley system, and you had the rope running on a pulley system. You would hang the clothes, and you move the pulley system. It opens up. You hang another one. Move the pulley system until it would get all the way there. You have clothes hanging, and then you would remove one and pull the pulley system back. Take like the shit like you do in the poor countries, man. None of like no American understands what's going on. Like, and it's a big eye opener, you know. Every time they go to these countries and then they come back, and a lot of them they're like, "Fuck, man."
It
I-
100% is, man. 100% it is.
like, fuck, I don't want this country to change.
You know, and let me make something clear. Not that I didn't enjoy my time.
I have to use the bathroom.
Yeah, go ahead. We're about to end, so
Yeah.
don't
So
have to- you don't have
not
to necessarily come back.
not that you didn't enjoy your time.
not that I didn't necessarily enjoy my time. There were some really cool parts. There was just also some really certain uncomfortable things.
Well, how long? Like, okay, so here's the question. So you say you couldn't come back, right? How long would it take you to live in Cuba where you'd be like, I'm finding that fucking coyote, I'm fucking leaving this country illegally, and I'm entering United States illegally? How long would it take you to do that?
Well, I think because of my American privileged ass, it wouldn't take long. It wouldn't take
Fucking
long.
die to get to a PC, brother.
It's a league,
I
dog.
will swim the seas to get to my PC.
No, not only that. I mean, one thing is like if I didn't, my family's over here, you know, like all that stuff. But let's
Yeah.
say if I was a Cuban, you know, and I live with that Cuban mindset. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's the life you know of, bro. Talking to, for example, I talk a lot with
Bro, it's-
Alejandra's boyfriend, bro. Speaking with him, I realized, bro, they can't even fathom what life is like here. They were
can't.
talking about how when we got back from the Tampa yesterday, when we got in the elevator, they were joking about how like how'd you guys feel when you guys saw this shit, like an elevator, dog. There ain't no elevators there.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, and like, and a lot of times what I also notice, people that live outside of United States, they have a completely different idea of what United States is. If like a family member lives in United States, they automatically assume the money grows on the trees here, and they're millionaire because they have access to all the shit. That means they're buying all the shit, right? So they're a millionaire automatically. They have no idea what it is, right?
And I think in their brains, when they see videos of the U.S. and they see these nice areas and stuff, they think that it's kind of like in Cuba, where they just have like these pockets of nice
Yeah.
areas, and then they come here and they drive through St. Pete and like, oh shit, The whole thing looks like this, you know.
Yeah, the whole thing is like that, and then you have everything, but then still need to work your ass off to get.
100%. I mean, it's not like you're gonna live here for free.
Yeah,
You know.
and a lot of times they'll ask for help. Well, you're in the United States, help me, help me, help me. But like a lot of times, like they're family that's here, maybe illegally, they're working fucking under the table, they're barely scraping by, they don't have a car, they gotta take fucking buses and this and that, and they're barely scraping, and they're like, I'm doing everything I can. They're like, but you're in America. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Literally and figuratively, Aussie. So
No, Ozzy, I'm gonna come get some of them seeds.
I know, right? I don't
Plant
wanna
my
pick
own
off your
damn
tree.
tree.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. What the hell is happening to so?
Something else.
It was hovering over a thing. Yeah, man. And not to say I had a extremely bad time or something like that. Like it was a horrible experience. No, that's not true. You know. But I did, like I explained it to Ozzy. I was actually on the phone with Ozzy talking with him about this because I wanted to show
Thanks for the
There's a-
wishes.
there's a clip that he got from a very famous person. I'm not gonna say who because it's gonna be a sneak peek. But I was let you know he got a very very cool clip promoting the UFC gym from a very very known person from the UFC, probably more known than most of the fighters. So we're gonna play that. I'm waiting for him because the version he has right now is just him doing the video in front of a green screen, and also the video he sent was like through WhatsApp, so it's all compressed and stuff. I told him, look, when Tony,
I have speculations as to who this may be.
yes, when Tony's he sent Tony the video, he says when he edited it, I told him let me get a copy.
They
of
edited
what,
the green screen.
yeah, so they're gonna edit the green screen. I'm gonna get like the actual good looking video, so hopefully we can get that over. And no, I want to wait. I want to get the good one. I want to.
And by the way, guys, yeah, UFC Gym, Vitality, UFC Largo, Vitality, it's coming along. I've been seeing the progress every day.
yeah,
The gym is coming along. The construction has started.
yeah,
They're tearing down walls and stuff like that.
it's officially
coming.
started.
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking good so far. So it's definitely moving. So, but yeah, but bro, like I'm so glad you went and saw that shit, man. Because it's like how kids always jokes like if you ask my parents, they had to walk 3 miles, 3 hours over this hill, over that hill to get to where they need to go. Like it's actually like
That's
that.
legit, there,
Like it's
bro.
legit like that. Like they
Yeah.
had to hop over a goat and just to fucking get somewhere. It's actually like that.
And
And most kids are fucking joking about it because they never knew what it is. And when I see those memes or those reels on Instagram, I'm like, yeah, like that's exactly how it was. Like I don't know what you're making fun of.
Yeah.
You know what I
in
mean?
Cuba, to go to well, they would call high school. Those shits are not close. Those were
Yeah.
they took a hike.
Yeah.
Again, there's no reliable transportation, so you have to rely on maybe your parents waking up early as shit at 4 a.m. to be able to drop you off at the school because it takes them 2 hours to get there.
Yeah. And that's by walking,
people would live
like
through
you
that.
have to fucking walking.
Yeah.
do we have her hop back in, or we're just gonna call? I think
Wrap
we're
it up,
yeah.
right? 127, 128 almost.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, what I was saying is I was talking to Ozzy, and I'll say this, not to say I had a horrible experience and that I didn't like certain things about it. It was a nice little vacation over the weekend. The pros don't outweigh the cons, though. That's just the best way I can put
Yes.
it.
It's not a net positive. It's a net negative.
Yes. The uncomfortableness it makes it a net negative in the sense where it's so hot, dog. It's so hot. Like it's just so hot. Not having a lick of connection. I mean nothing. Like you're basically your phone is just there as a good flashlight.
The best parts of the day is getting into the car.
Yeah, with the AC. Yeah, that's just nice. Bro, like how I probably deleted over 1,000 pictures. That's all I had to do on my phone was to go through pictures and look at old memories and like just delete random shit that I still had from high
Boy was
school.
bored.
Yes. Yes, bored. I was watching Emily play games on her phone because I didn't have any.
And
games.
Emily plays some boring ass games too.
I was playing them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes, listen, he talks shit about my games, but sometimes when he had to sit on that toilet, he would be like, "Babe, can I play games on your phone?"
So
I'd be like, yeah, here you go.
So he became your little nephew.
Yes. Yes.
He was
Literally.
the iPad kid on the truth.
Yep. And I'm not someone who like spends all day on their phone either. But man, when I'm taking a shit, I'm about to go to bed. Like when I'm just hanging out, sitting on the couch at their house and doing nothing, bro. And the Wi-Fi was bad.
At least here you got like bottles of soap and air freshener. You can read the labels. Over there, they probably didn't even have that.
Bro,
You
the
don't keep it
the
detained.
Coke,
Yeah.
the Coke had Arabic or like
Turkish writing probably
or
on it.
it looked like Arabic or Hebrew. Actually, I
Yeah.
swear to God,
See,
it was.
that's not
Pull up Turkish alphabet.
completely true what you just said, because they use newspaper to wipe their ass. So
So you
it's
could read the
multi-use.
newspaper
You
right
could
before
read the
wiping.
newspaper
It's
before
dual
you wipe
use.
your
It's
ass.
dual use. Okay.
So you know
Like, you
there's
have
that.
Read it
laptop.
and then use it. I never had to use newspaper.
there is
dog. I
a-
brought rolls with me.
There
Yeah,
was a
but I'm saying, like, back then for us or for them.
Yeah.
So there was a huge rise of colon cancer in Russians because they used newspaper back then to wipe their ass, and newspaper the ink contains lead in it, and that lead would give them
Oh,
fucking
shit.
cancer.
That's crazy. Maybe we can talk a little bit more next time, but let's wrap it up. Thank you guys for joining us today. Another episode in the books, getting close to that 150. Happy birthday to my brother Jay. And don't forget about our official sponsors, UFC Gym Largo and Vitality Wellness Center, guys. Check them out. We both have links in the description. Check those things out. Really cool things that we're doing here in Largo and in St. Pete. It's insane. So, yeah. Thank you guys for coming, and peep straight.